All right, focus crew, focus hands here. So several hours later, I'm back working on the engine. I actually was doing some work on season 3, and that's to come. But I'm switching it up a little bit, doing a few little different things as I work on the engine in season 3 that I'm currently working on. But here we are, we're back on the engine. I got everything timed, so I know that the timing is right. If you look down in here, right there, you can see that the crankshaft is butted up against that timing tool. So that's how I know it's in time there. And then, oh, snaps, tripped on the engine stand. If you come over here, you'll see that my timing tool is in slot on both sides. So now, guess what we're going to do? We are going to remove the intake cam and the exhaust cam. And how do I know which one is which? Well, the intake is next to the intake manifold, and the exhaust cam is next to the exhaust. That's how we know. So we're going to go ahead and start the breakdown on these. We'll need to loosen up the timing, so I need to do some timing work here. Take off the timing pin and whatnot, but let's get started.
Bye.
So we're going to need to start on removing this timing piece. I forget what they call this thing, the tensioner, the timing tensioner. So what we're going to do here is I need to take 2 flathead screwdrivers, and I'm going to need a pin. Let me see if I can zoom you in so you can see. Let me bring this down just a bit. Sorry for the camera work, but it's in 4K. On my end, it may not be 4K on YouTube, so bear with me. So what we're going to do is try to fail at sticking that in there because it won't go in. So I need to go find another flathead that works. Stay tuned. So you stick a pin in the back here, and that locks it, so it won't come out. And now you can remove these bolts, and you're free. It's slack on the chain, and you're free to remove all of this stuff now. And since I have my cams locked and my crank position butted up against the timing tool, I'm okay to remove everything. So what we're gonna do is buzz this off. I need to figure out what size that is, so stay tuned. All right, so size 10 millimeter on that. You just take it here and you crack them and give it a little. They're on pretty tight. And we can remove, make sure this doesn't snap in my face here. We can remove the whole thing so it's out. See that pin? I stuck that pin in there, so that locks that back in place. I could reuse this since it has 18,000 miles on it, but I actually ended up buying a new one off of Rock Auto. So shout out to Rock Auto for always being there for my car part needs. Maybe I'll get a sponsorship soon. Anyway, let's take off these guides and move on with the video. Stay tuned. All right, so we're gonna remove these cam bolts here. They are a socket 21. And these cam bolts, these cams aren't held on by anything, so you want to be careful when removing them. They'll just fall off. at least on the 2-3, they aren't held on by anything. So I'm gonna set that off to the side here. And what I'm gonna do is lift both of these off at the same time. And since the cams are actually locked, I don't have to worry about where the chain sits for timing, because the cam is locked in the correct time and the cam or the crank position is locked in the correct piece of time. So in the correct time. So I just pull that off and off the guides and then down, and all of this is out. And there's the VCT part that we're going to delete. We're deleting everything, but this is one of the major things that we can't use with the 2-3 to 2-5 swap. But we're going to reuse this gear here. We're going to make sure that the teeth line up with the gear I have from the Ford house. So stay tuned. All right, so we're going to start to disassemble the cams now. I'm going to start on this end. Actually, I'm going to start in the middle and then work out so that a lot of tension isn't drawn on the camshafts or the bearings. So these are 10 mil bolts, so you need your 10 mil socket. And yeah, let's get it going. It's not powerful enough, Jim. There we go. That's 1, 2. Gonna go here. There we go. So now we did that one. We're gonna work out. And then over here. Same thing on the exhaust side. In, out. All right, so that's that. And we still have these 3 that we have to remove on this side. These are also 10 mil bolts too. This is where your VCT delete goes. Remember, in the video I just put out, all you do is just drop that down in there and you deleted the VCT. All right, so now what we're going to do is, in sequence, I'm going to get a piece of cardboard and I'm going to put these tops in order on intake and exhaust, same order, so that when I go to put these back on the car, they're going to go in the same port that they came out of. I suggest you do something like this so that you can be dang sure that what's going in the place that you took off is going back how you put it on, or how you took it off. So anyway, let's do that. Stay tuned. All right, so I labeled these I and E on here. So we are going to take off each piece on I and set it down. Make sure this is level. I don't want it falling. Piece of plastic. This piece sits like that. I'm gonna put it down just like this. All right, so there's our intake, exhaust, and our holder for the gears, I guess. So now what we're going to do is remove the timing tool and set it off to the side, and we're going to lift out each of the cams very carefully, if it can be done. Is there anything holding the cams in? Shouldn't be. maybe I need to use a pry bar and just kind of pry on them a little bit to get them to come out. I'll try that. Stay tuned. All right, so this one's loosened up, and what you want to do, I tested the exhaust one first. You just want to pry up near the end, like that, and it comes up, and near the end on this one as well. Let me get a spotty here. I'm trying to go to the other side. I'm trying to be as careful as possible because I don't want to damage any of the surface here. I don't want to have any bad days. Let's just get right here, maybe. There we go. All right, so with that nerve reckoning out of the way, we can take off the intake and now remove it from the engine. Stay tuned. All right, so over here we got Crower cams, new ones. And I don't know about you, but when I go fast, I like to hit the red line. And when I put in cams, I like to use red line assembly lube. All right, we're going to continue. So these are the cams, and I believe they are marked for the color. I forget which one's which, and I'm gonna need to figure that out real quick. But I believe blue was intake, and the other one was exhaust. Yeah, I'm slowly walking this down. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing you repeat over here. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the exhaust as well. So again, so that we get it, when you're tightening this down, you want to try to get it finger tight first and walk the cam into slot. You don't want to start on one end over here and tighten these bolts, that bolt, that bolt, that bolt. You could snap the cams. I didn't do that. When I snapped my cam, as you saw in the picture, I did this sequence here and the cam snapped on this bearing right here, and I'm trying to figure out why that happened. So with that said, we're gonna do the first torque sequence and the second torque sequence for this, and then we'll have to get it timed because, you know, they are both out of time here. Got to turn it to time it, and get them using the alignment tool over there. And I think we should be good to go on this front. But you know, this is the scary part, especially when you snap a cam. You start to doubt yourself and your abilities, and I'm here to tell you, don't do that. Keep trying so that you can get better at doing this kind of work. You know, if you break something, keep trying. Don't give up, because, you know, yeah, you have to buy another one, but essentially you'll never learn something if you don't put forth the effort to try. So that's what I'm trying to help you understand, and myself, because I had to get over that hurdle after snapping this cam earlier, to continue to come out here and try this. But look at me now. Stay tuned. All right, YouTube. So the sequence is as follows, like we said earlier. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I've hand tightened everything, and it's well, hand tight. So the Haynes manual now suggests that for the camshaft bearing, I'm gonna try to bring this a little closer so you can see, and feel free to pause this and you know, use this as a reference for you, so you don't have to buy the manual. I'll just show you this sheet. You know, it's $25 at AutoZone for the manual. You might be able to find it cheaper. I think it's like $14 online, but I wanted a physical copy. So let's see here. Looks like step 1, step 2, and step 3, as you can see here, shows hand tight. And first step or excuse me, second step here is going to be 62 inch-pounds. I have a inch-pound torque wrench that we're going to dial in on. And step 3 calls for 144 inch-pounds. So again, let's go ahead and do step 2, and we'll move on to step 3. So stay tuned. All right, torque wrench is all set up, so let's get started. So first, I'm moving everything. Let me test this. I'm gonna test this real quick. Have it tightened down fully. Still don't like the way this is working out. I'm gonna find something to test this on. Hold on, I don't like this. All right, so I had a torque wrench overnighted by Amazon. Part of the same family of torque wrenches that I have for the 1/2 inch. I picked up for the inch-pound feet or inch-pound torque wrench as well. So this one actually works and clicks like it's supposed to. So we're going to set this to 62. Let's see, there's 50. There's 62. 62 inch-pounds. And we will do our sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then swap to the other side. So let's see here. I need a 10. Yep, that one's already tight. That's good. That's good. All right, go over here. So it's 1, 2. Gotta go to 3. 4. All right, and last but not least, 5. I'm gonna tighten this one down too. All right, so we're gonna go to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Trying to shake the camera too much. This one's still loose. All right, so with finishing that, the second round is to tighten and sequence down to 144 inch-pounds, not foot-pounds, but inch-pounds. Really recognize the difference in the two kind of torque wrenches. You'll break it if you do 144 foot-pounds torque. Anyway, let me get this set up and we'll continue. I'm just gonna go over just to check it one more time at the first stage. Check them all again. That back just a bit. I don't know where I left off, but all right, so we're all good there on number 1. So let's go ahead and do number 2. Torque rate set to 144 inch-pounds, following the same sequence. All right, over here. All right, that's it. That's 1, 2, and 3 sessions. Hand tight, 64 pound-feet of torque and inch-pounds of torque, excuse me, and 144 inch-pounds of torque for the final step. That's how you do cams. Now we need to align this back up and get it in time so that it can properly mate with the rest of the engine. I can get the valve cover back on. All right, but I just wanted to give you a little episode about just the cams in particular, because there aren't a lot of videos out on YouTube doing the DuerTech, like focus related camshaft installations, and I wanted to bring you that, so that if you go out and try this, you have a reference on what to do and what not to do, especially, you know, breaking cams. So which, like I said, I don't know if that was a fault on my end or more likely the fault of the cam. All right, so you hear about cam timing. Well, you're gonna need this aligning tool. You're gonna need this, and you're also gonna need a 24 millimeter spanner, and to move the camshafts. So I've already, you can find a spot on the end right here, and I've already started to move this camshaft into place. This one's too tight, it looks like. It's not moving. So we gotta get these two aligned here. I gotta spin this over. All right, so I had to give it a little nudge. This one has an area back here. I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing. Let me see. It has an area back here that where you can latch the 24 millimeter socket or spanner onto to move it around. So position that enough. So see how that one fits in the slot now? We need to get this one to fit in the slot as well. So that's good. Looks like I need to turn this one all the way over. All right, YouTube, so look at this. I did it. I honestly gotta tell you that this was the most nerve-wracking part, let me try not to shake the camera, the most nerve-wracking part of this whole process. And the cams were way too tight. There's something up with the cams. They're way too tight, and when you try to go to spin them, they don't spin doing the 62 to 144 inch-pounds. So I need to figure out what's going on that front. However, let me see, where am I unlocking the engine? So I need to get this pin here, this hole, and put my timing pin back in, since I'm now at a good, actually I'm at a good time. So when I put the timing pin back in, it should be right here. That pin should be right here, which will let me know everything is in time. And if that's the case, I am free to put the timing cover back on and deal with this issue up here with tightening. So I'm gonna pull the tensioner, and first I'm gonna put in my little pin, timing pin, in the back of the engine here. And I'm gonna turn this engine over. You gotta take out your tool here. I'm gonna turn it over until it butts up against the end over there. And notice how I'm drop dead center. If I had the timing cover on, that would be in alignment. I look good right here on the cams, which is great. I feel really optimistic about this build so far. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up all of this area here, take off all the old timing gear, clean up this area, put on the new tensioner, scrub off all this gasket material, and I'll turn you back on for the next step. So stay tuned. All right, so I'm working on removing the timing covers. So this timing cover on the right, it's held on by this little dowel pin here and easily slides off. The timing cover, or I guess it would be the left, timing cover on the right here is held on by two what looks like 8mm bolts. Crack these off. And they were on there pretty tight. Alright, that's that out of the way. So I have to tell you, it's actually not bad to learn how to time this engine. And I actually had to learn how to time this engine even though I already knew how to time it. I don't know if you really can understand what I'm saying, and I'll try to break it out here in a few short sentences, I guess. You want to make sure that your timing pin here is lined up, and I used the oil dipstick to find top dead center on cylinder 1. As cylinder 1 moves up to the top, this piece rises up, and you'll know when you get to the top. I then rotated the engine to this dot that you see right here, was right here. And I put this pin in, screwed it all the way in, and then I turned the engine over until it lined up right here. And you really can't see that. Let me see if I can zoom in and turn on the thing there. So yeah, that pin, see, I was butted up against that counterweight for the crankshaft. And you see this mark right here? I spent the engine over until this butted up against that. And I looked at this and said, all right, well, this is down where it's supposed to be. I don't have the timing cover on because I wanted you to see this, because you can't see this with the timing cover on. Then I went up here after turning the engine over twice. I went to see if my cams fit, and the cams fit. So yay. So I'm going to test this one more time. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you now the 2 revolutions that you have to do to make sure that everything is in time. You really want to make sure everything is in time with this engine, because it gets its time created by friction, which the pulley pushes on the timing gears and the timing pieces in here and holds everything together. So you really want to make sure you triple check everything. And for you all, I'm going to buzz this off, put on some stuff I need to put on, like up here, this timing tensioner right here. I'm gonna put the new one on. These guides are brand new already. And I might go ahead and put new bolts on our friends up here, on these camshaft bolts. Since I bought them, I might as well put them on. So let's go and do that. Since everything is timed up right here and in position, I can go ahead and mess with all this stuff now. So stay tuned. Let's go ahead and buzz this off. Right. Then we'll remove this piece, set it off to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that tensioner. Let's get down in here and lift up that piece. And then we can push back right here. Lift up some more. Push it on back. Drop the piece in like that. There we go. All right, so I got the new piece. Push it over here, get it in place. These bolts are 10 millimeter, if you're wondering. And I picked this timing gear stuff, timing gear kits up off of Rock Auto right now, my favorite place to go and shop. Get out of here, fly. You're not finna Mike Pence me. All right, so I'm just gonna torque this down a little bit. Gotta get yourself one of these. Torque it too much, but just enough. All right. Now we're going to, as they say, pull the plug. Grenade! So that's the pin. Okay, so what do we need to do? I'll go back down here and check. I'm still on there. Timing cover. So let me reiterate this again. In order for this to work, you're gonna need to get yourself a 2-3 timing cover. Otherwise, you're gonna have some severe vibrations as your engine is going to rock forward with the 2.5 timing cover, and it won't be tall enough with the 2.0 timing cover. So you gotta get yourself a 2-3 timing cover in order for all this to, as they say, fit together. So I'm gonna put on 2 bolts right now. This one here is the longest one, which goes down here. I'm gonna slide that in, and I believe these are 8 millimeter bolts. And I'm gonna put one in right here. just another long bolt that goes here, and let me get that tool. All right, go ahead and wax this one down. Oh yeah, I painted the timing cover. All right, so I'm gonna get the pulley back on. I'm gonna put the pulley dead center. Just like so. And I'll put the old bolt in. I guess I can go find the new one. 1 second. All right, so I'm going to attempt to turn this engine over and see 2 revolutions and see if it's in time. I removed the crankshaft locking tool. I'm going to spin the engine over, see if everything lines up. Ooh, snap, that scared me. Okay, so once it gets right here, I'm going to put our timing pin in. Crankshaft timing pin in. And it must go all the way in. Now I'm going to butt it up against. You heard the little click. It's all the way up there. Now I'm going to see if this piece lines up with back there. Well, I mean, I guess you can't see. Let's see here. It's slightly off. It's off just a little bit here. So I need to move this over a little bit. Let's see where my cams are. And my cams are off just a little bit up here. So I need to make some adjustments. And that's why we do this, so that we can make sure everything is in time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to buzz this off again. Just rotate this just a little bit. Put this back on. Undo the camshaft bolts. Tweak them just a little bit. And return it over and see if I get it right. So stay tuned. All right, YouTube. So I just wanted to briefly go over what I did on timing up the cams again. It's pretty cool. So what I did was, one, I made sure everything was tightened down to what it needs to be and with the torque specs. And you want to make sure when you're tightening, you're doing the final tightening for both the intake and the exhaust cams, this timing tool is not in slot. If this timing tool is in slot, you're going to snap this cam, either or cams. Trust me, don't do that. It didn't happen to me, but my cam snapped right here due to unknown reasons. But just so you know, don't do that. When you're tightening these things for the final tightening, take this out. And it says remove before final tightening. Heed that warning. Anyway, what I did to get these back in time, and they were just a little bit out of time. I unscrewed the, see, these are a little loose right here. I unscrewed these, right? And what you want to do, and when you're unscrewing these, is they take a 22 millimeter spanner to turn them over, you're going to need this 24mm spanner to turn it up or down. While using the 22mm spanner, I put the socket on the shaft, on the crankshaft pulley bolt, to keep the crankshaft in time down here, because if you turn this bolt, it moves the engine backwards, which pulls it out of time down here. So I clicked it back into time and made sure everything was set for as the crank goes. And then I timed these up, and I'm getting ready to tighten these back down right now as we speak. So let's do that. All right, YouTube, so I've reset the pulley bolt, cams, timing pin looks to be good. So I'm going to take everything out, and I'm going to turn the engine over twice and see if it all lines up. And if it does, I'll have to do this maybe 2 more times to make sure. But then again, I can start putting everything back together. So here we go. Once it gets about right there, I'm gonna put in the pin. Just like so. Then we're gonna put it up like that. No. I'm gonna take this piece. Get down here where I can see. Okay, so that lines up down there. That's great. And go up here and see if the cams slide in. Oh, almost. I mean, yeah, they slide in. I can push it in. I'll say that's all right. That's pretty good. They slide in. One more time. Yeah. I'd say that's just all right. So that's a spot of good news for me, that it's all time now. So we can actually start to put this thing back together. Whew, that's been a job. Well, next time we will look at putting the gasket back on and doing the heads and everything, make sure everything is torqued down, and that'll be that. Until next time, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, say something nice, something constructive. If you hated it, let me know you hated it too, because sometimes not liking something is great to help one be better, but make it constructive why you didn't like it, I guess. Past that, I will see you all real soon. Focused Hands, signing off. Peace.